Hello, Sight Hello, the guy with the legendary board and orange hands. Why is my beard actually legendary? Probably because I always talk about it myself. Legends must be created. They don't come by themselves. So here we really have 4.5. Here we really have this can. So I shot with this, just so you know, so you can compare your values somehow if you feel like it. Yes, what do we have here? We have a Ruger 1022 rifle here. Yes, that is, how should I put it? When you hear the name Ruger, actually know three things. One is the Ruger Red Hawk, which is a huge revolver. Then there is a sports pistol called Standard. Very similar. I don't even know what it's called. And this rifle, you can get the Ruger. I don't know if it's also called 1022, 2001. It is also available in calibers like 22 and possibly small, a bit larger things. In any case, that is practically the practice version for the dear little ones or for the dear big ones, depending on who you are at the moment. And I'll just start reading about the rifle. On one side it says Ruger 1022 air rifle, which won't really be a surprise. Then there is a long serial number, an F mark, caliber 4.5, blah blah blah. Flat-nosed Diablo is depicted, which means, of course, that Diablo can be shot. Manufactured by Umarex under license from Sturm, Ruger & Co. Company, no, incorporated, and in big bold letters, Ruger, no, it can't get any bigger. Manufactured by Umarex. Doesn't say where. In China, in America, in Germany. So if it had been manufactured in Germany, I'm relatively sure in 2001, then it would also be written somewhere in bold here. To make it clear right away here, in Germany, Kaya did not make it. And based on that, I'll just assume it's China. What can you do? A plastic stock. Very rear heavy because the capsules are in the back. Relatively narrow. But I wouldn't say it's spiky. It's actually fine. It's a short, handy shooting rifle. If you want to shoot with the rear sight and front sight, such things still exist. Oh, that fits quite well. It's not perfect. For me, there always needs to be a fat cheek piece on it, and the front sight needs to be higher. I think we need to talk about the sights again shortly. It doesn't have a cheek piece, no rubber at the back. 1000. Yes. A big hole at the bottom where the magazine goes in. A trigger safety, a non-automatic one, so a purely manual. Trigger safety that secures the trigger and nothing else. A trigger blade made of, I suspect, plastic. Let's see. Yeah, come on. That's probably a plastic trigger guard. But it all fits well. They did a decent job. There's a bit of a seam here. It's made of two halves. You can see that. There is a kind of seam, but everything is in the green zone. So far, completely okay. As for the length, I would say, yes, it's a bit short for me, but that's just how it is for a handy little carbine. It can be a bit shorter than usual. On top, you have a sight rail, specifically a Picatinny rail, and it's only a Picatinny rail. This is not a rail that is sometimes 11 millimeters and sometimes Picatinny. It is always that. And then we also come right to, how should I put it here, to my little point of criticism. I'm currently looking at the rear sight. Yes. I know it is somehow adjustable. There is a little screw in the sight. But otherwise it looks quite permanent to me. The GR accordingly, I'll try to hold it up to the camera for you. It's a bit difficult without getting yourself in the shot. 2001. So there you see the rear sight. I think you might not see it now. I'll hold it a bit lower. Would be optimistic that you can still see something down there. Ah, here in front of the orange, it's really just a rear sight without height adjustability. You can also take a look inside the barrel. Yes. There you can see that even the GR is somehow cast in two parts. There is no thread for a suppressor. 2001. We have the cocking lever. Pitch. That is, I would say, competition to the Crossman 1077. It is basically exactly the same. The whole concept with the magazine, where you can remove the drums here with a slider. If you have several of them, you can quickly swap them out in the magazine itself. It was the same with the 1077. The drum is relatively long, so I have also fired round heads again. It actually sounds quite good. It is important with this slider which you push forward to secure the magazine, to push it all the way forward. Otherwise, the magazine won't go in, and you might wonder. It can only turn in one direction. Yes, and it goes pfft. I'll demonstrate that as a magazine. I just saw the drum. It's empty, but I still have my bullet trap here. The trigger is hard and completely immovable. Now a little bit moves, and after about 1, maybe 2 meters, it goes bang. Unfortunately, it is not a semi-automatic. You have the choice to either cock it individually before each shot, or to shoot it double action. Best without gloves. Like with other weapons, my rubber glove always gets caught behind the trigger and it's tangled. And that's why, as you can see, my hand position is very awkward here. So my old devices don't like this. For me, this device would be nothing, as they say in German. There's a magazine release button and a magazine removal thingamajig, 1000. And yes, what else should I say about it? I had a scope on it. I'll make a conclusion before I take down the data and the target sheets and so on. For me, it is nothing. For me, it is too small. For me, it is too similar to the Crossman 1077, which has also been around for 30 years or so. The same thing in green. Whether it is now more expensive or cheaper, I can't say exactly, because the last 1077 I had in my hands was a few Thursdays ago. But what I can still show you is, for example, this with the capsule. I stood there quite stupidly at first. Said, yes, there is a button. Have seen that somewhere in a video before. You have to turn it. Yes. Now a rod will probably come out or something. I also looked a bit silly. Have to touch the whole back part like this. You can simply remove it. 2001. The capsules are underneath. And here is the key for that. And that's why you turn it now. And as you can see, it's quite stiff, which is why the first time the first capsule was only punctured, because I didn't want to turn it any further since it was already so hard. I thought maybe I should put a drop of oil in it. Someone is sighing. Yes, it definitely needs oil in the gearbox. There, ISO. Yes, I think this thing here should maybe be oiled. And one capsule is not punctured, not completely. The second one is punctured, so that's normal. That's typical. Just a drop of that precious liquid on it. As always, this is also a used thing. Know me, I am very enthusiastic about new things. New things are not really for me. I always use it for screwing in. It somehow makes everything a bit easier. I don't have to tighten it. It's enough that it doesn't fall out now. You can just put it back in, press down, turn, and it's secure. Don't forget, don't try to pull on the sides. That doesn't fit, but you have to grab it from the top and bottom. So that was it. I can leave the capsule here. I can use it again somewhere else. I'm now putting the magazine in here without my usual care. It's empty. I've checked it. And otherwise, magazines tend to get caught under the wheels with the equipment lying around here. So now comes the paperwork, which is also important. So, what's the name of the thing again? Ruger 1022, serial number 85, paid 140. Well, that adds up, but that's right. I was confused. I made the video for the RP earlier and had similar numbers then. No, that's correct. I paid 85 here. It costs 140 new. Yes, I haven't mentioned a jewel here yet. I should maybe do that sometime. We'll get to the tablet shortly. It's all included there. This is the Ruger 1022. So, don't worry. I'll turn it around and hold it up to the camera for you. And for such a fun rifle, the one outlier I probably created myself. Again, a note here. They are not flat heads as I usually use. These are round heads. That's why the holes are so fuzzy. Flat bodies usually make nice, clean, round holes. Yes, and here at the height, you can adjust the scope if you have one mounted. I had, of course. But you can already see that it works. If you put in a bit more effort than I did, you can hit something with it. And not bad at all. Everything is fine. Now, let's take another look here because we want to count. We can't rely on anything. Now, I have to go back over here. Then I have to select a profile. We have a calm here. That's the letter R again. My God, I've had so many shotguns. Get 1022 values. View shots. So, oh, that's interesting. Remember, only one capsule was punctured. Joule 64 55505.1 4.8 6.0 95.26 5.1 5.0 4.8 6.0. That was probably the next capsule. 5.5. Not all shots were measured, because I somehow measured from an angle again. However, if you place the rifle directly on the chronograph, it will capture every shot. Let's display that graphically now. If I show the out-of-height shots, graphic view shots, this way you can see it better. Yes? Yes. That's what it looks like. And it was just one capsule that was pierced. And you can always see that when a magazine is empty, this short pause in between causes the pressure to return. Because you know the typical problem with CO capsules getting cold, pressure decreases. You take the time to reload the magazine. During that time, the capsule warms up again, so the pressure goes back up. And at the back, I always applied pressure firmly, and you can see, so it is already. Yes, it is good. When both capsules are pierced, there is a reason why they put 2 in here. This is how it goes. Around and back again, and then through the chest into the eye. 21% battery left. Shall we get charged again with good nuclear power? Yes, that was it. We did the values, we did the aiming, we did the 1000 China, we did the technology. Yes, I already mentioned the danger, and that doesn't really change. For me, this thing is nothing. It's too small for me. This is for people who like to blink. You know, I also like to blink, but then please at pinhead size. And this thing is not built for that. No one said we want to shoot competitively with it. 2001. It's just a nice toy, interesting technology. However, I would suggest disregarding the hand position, so I have mostly shot in such a way that 1. There actually aren't any front attachments for this, but in general, there are front parts that can be attached to the front of the pistol grip, so that a proper pistol is found there. And then I would say, especially with this trigger weight, the double action trigger is quite significant. Everything is a bit easier. Yes, then we're done. What do we have here? 14 minutes. We should still add a bit of advertising. VDB, 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 VDB. All right. Thank you very much for watching. 16. Mouvette, the legendary beard from Osterholz with the grote orange hands, who only talks nonsense and actually doesn't have to do anything, because the camera runs by itself and it doesn't matter. I'm rambling, you can tell. It is supposed to be 27 degrees today. Up here in my studio, I have roof tiles right above. It's going to get really cozy here, and that's why I'll definitely take a long siesta today. So down here, up here. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.